F1 on ITV, sponsored by Shell V-Power.
Let's confirm the details before we get into all the Interlagos emotion and the Brazilian Grand Prix press conference. Fernando Alonso, second in this Brazilian Grand Prix behind Felipe Massa, is world champion once again. He successfully defends his title despite an absolutely heroic challenge from Michael Schumacher this afternoon. And the Constructors' Championship, that stays with Renault as well by a narrow margin of some 5 points. Renault edge out Ferrari. They hang on to both the driver's title and the constructor's title. But Felipe Massa has won this Brazilian Grand Prix, the homeboy from Sao Paulo, and he's in the press conference right now.
Felipe, you're the first Brazilian to win your home Grand Prix since Ayrton Senna. You need to say more than that, really.
Yeah, it's just amazing, isn't it? I think it's after 13 years that a Brazilian driver doesn't win the Brazilian Grand Prix. And for me, it's just amazing. I mean, to be here in front of my people, in my first year that I have a good car, I mean, a fantastic car, because after the race today, I think it was maybe the easiest race of my life, because I could control everything, you know, I was not pushing a lot. And, you know, really happy to have that moment. And I'm sure it's just difficult to explain. I mean, it's just very, very, very special for me.
Talk about your emotions on the podium and the slowdown lap and what it means to be a Brazilian to win in this Formula One crazy country.
Well, it's just a dream come true. I mean, you see the whole people, you know, bringing the flag, screaming your name, and really jumping and dancing, whatever, and just for you. So I think it's difficult to explain. I'm sure whatever driver will love to be in my position. Fernando won his home Grand Prix this year, and I'm sure it was very, very special for him. So anyway, I mean, it's just the best day of my life.
Congratulations to you, Felipe. Fernando, turning to you, you had to score points here to clinch the championship. You did that well and truly, finishing second, and you've won back-to-back world championships.
Yes, it has been a fantastic weekend, and especially the race, very long race, obviously, for us, because we only need 1 point to become champion, and for sure, if I can help the team to become constructors champion as well, I was ready to do it, and you know, everything was as planned, and you know, the Ferrari were too quick, but we managed to overtake him in the first pit stop, and then a lot of pressure from Jenson, but we managed to finish second. And as you say, it doesn't matter the position. The important thing today was become champion again for the second consecutive time, and we did it. So it has nothing more to say. It's an unbelievable feeling.
Could I invite you to say a few words about Michael Schumacher in his last Grand Prix today? Finished fourth, only 5 seconds behind you at the end after a puncture he incurred when passing your teammate, but very close rivalry between you two all season.
Yeah, it has been very close, and you know, I think it was good to fight with him. I always said that to become champion when Michael is still on the track has maybe more value than when he retired, and I was extremely lucky to win the last 2 championships he raced it, and you know, I think we all the drivers, we wish him the best for his new life with family, and you know, has been for us a pleasure to race with him.
And finally, Fernando, if I can just ask how you paced your race once you knew Michael was in trouble. You did obviously defend against Rubens, but at one point Jarno Trulli got inside you.
Yes, well, when Michael had the problem with the tire, so in lap 3 or 4 after the safety car, we already turned down the refs because the championship was immediately in a good move. So, you know, I think we controlled the race basically from the beginning, not pushing any more than what we should do.
Thank you, Fernando. And Jenson, congratulations, a great drive from 14th on the grid after an electronic problem yesterday to your 3rd podium of the year.
Yeah, I mean, for these two, it's a very, very special day. Felipe in his home country winning Grand Prix, and then Fernando clinching the World Championship. So, I've got to say, a massive well done to both of them. But even for me, you know, coming from 14th to 3rd, after yesterday's problems is a great result, and perfect to end the year. Yeah, so it's been a fantastic day, and probably one of the most enjoyable races I've had, you know, fighting my way through the field. It wasn't just done on pit stops or from people stopping.
And the one man who wasn't in that press conference, maybe he should have been, Michael Schumacher. Quick reaction, Mark Blundell, to the manner in which he bowed out of Formula One today.
You know, it's a fantastic race, Steve, and I think that was determination from Michael Schumacher. We've seen it time and time again. Calmness of the new world champion again, Alonso, and then starring roles for me with Felipe Massa and Jenson Button. I think they had outstanding drives.
OK, we'll have much more reaction from here at Interlagos in just a couple of minutes' time.
F1 on ITV, sponsored by Shell V-Power. F1 on ITV, sponsored by Shell V-Power.
Felipe Massa has won this Brazilian Grand Prix, but Michael Schumacher has reminded us of exactly what Formula One is going to be missing in the next few years with his retirement. And he went into retirement in the most stunning fashion, but as in Japan, luck just not with him today.
Yeah, lady luck run out on him today because only 10 laps into the race, and unfortunately for him, because of the prior accident we'd seen with the two Williamses, it looked like he'd picked up some debris and it punctured the tyre. At one point we felt that maybe Fisichella had just tapped the rear end of his car and crept in on the back tyre there with an end plate from the front wing, but I think it's just debris got in the side wall of the tyre, and that was basically his race ruined in terms of where he could have come to. I think he had a possibility of actually getting right to the front of this race.
Yeah, and at that point, after the puncture, a mere mortal would have just coasted round at the back of the field and gone into retirement. Not Schumacher. He went for absolutely everything.
Oh, he was outstanding. I mean, one of the drives, I think, of the season definitely for him, and also over the last few years, I think, because he's made so many overtaking manoeuvres today, and I think some of them were class manoeuvres at the end of all of it. I mean, some real outstanding stuff.
Well, let's take a look at the manner in which Michael Schumacher went through the field. A lot of them were fairly polite, it has to be said.
Well, I think he had a little bit of help out there with a few people just making sure they didn't get in his way, but they're just clean moves. But the Ferrari obviously got a lot of straight line speed advantage. See him going by the Honda there, just tucking himself into turn one. Yet again here, comes up behind the Renault of Fisichella. Fisichella had a little bit of a thorn in his side time and time again when he got there, and actually pushed him and pressured him to making a mistake there.
And there was a point towards the end of the race that the World Championship looked back on again, especially after he'd gone inside Kimi Raikkonen like this.
Oh, definitely. And this, for me, was a great move coming in there. Kimi Raikkonen's not an easy guy to get by, but Schumacher just knew he just had to make the move. He's got a little bit of space to play with. Raikkonen also there being helpful, but not giving him anything to really work with. But again, that's World Championship style and World Championship overtaking manoeuvres. Real commitment.
Absolutely amazing. A great world champion bows out. Another great world champion continues, Fernando Alonso.
I think Alonso was outstanding as well. I mean, it's such a young guy with a calm head on his shoulders there. He's still got a lot more to come from him over the years. But I think we had a great race today, and we've got some real stars and many more next year.
What do you think he might achieve at McLaren? But there's a team that has gone through the season without a win.
That's a tough one for McLaren because that's a long time since they've not had a Grand Prix win in the season, and I think they've got a lot of rebuilding to do, and I think maybe Alonso going there will give that some boost, but they've still got to get some personnel in and get an engine which is a little bit more reliable maybe, and get something solid. Jenson takes something solid and positive into the new season, doesn't he? I think JB's drive today was great, and only a shame that he didn't have the traction control problems in qualifying, because I think he would have been on that podium a little bit further up, second, maybe even knocking on the door for a win. Honda's looking good. Jenson Button, superb. And on today's evidence, Massa, Raikkonen, that Ferrari combination is going to take some beating next season. Well, I think that's also going to be the interest for all of us. We're going to see Kimi Raikkonen, the Iceman, sitting in that red car. Can he deliver what we've seen from Michael Schumacher and now Massa? OK, quick reminder before we go that on the ITV F1 website you can get all the latest information on what's happening in Formula One, and also our competition that can win you a VIP trip to the first Grand Prix next season in Australia. We will of course have further Grand Prix highlights later this evening, but make sure you watch our Michael Schumacher tribute tomorrow evening.
You need to do everything perfect to beat him.
He can't stand for anyone else to win.
He is gifted but flawed.
Oh, out goes Schumacher!
Michael Schumacher driven to win on ITV1 tomorrow night at 11 o'clock. It's a final tribute to the fact that the era of Schumacher is over, although he's clearly retiring at his absolutely brilliant best. And we're now firmly into the age of Alonso. He's the youngest ever back-to-back world champion. He takes the title here at Interlagos, but Felipe Massa is a hugely popular home winner of the Brazilian Grand Prix. From us all here on the ITV F1 team, it's goodbye.
F1 on ITV, sponsored by Shell V-Power.
For the latest news, gossip and video clips, visit itv.com/F1, sponsored by Shell V-Power.